All right, what's going on, y'all? I'm back at it with another one, and thanks for taking the time to check me out. And also, if you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you like and subscribe for me, man. I appreciate it. So, listen, I really wish people would just stop and take time to think before they do things, right? Because what this lady did in this video I'm about to show y'all is just all the way out of line, right? And I don't know how she thought this was just okay to do because it's just, I don't know. Like I said, it's out of line, and it's disgusting what she did. So let me show y'all this, and I'm gonna come back, with my thoughts about it as usual.
Well, if I'm not eating, nobody's eating. So I proceeded to take strands of my hair and sprinkle it on the food.
You heard her. Talisha Jacobs so upset with the service at a local restaurant that she admittedly contaminated the food. Thanks for joining us on 19 News at 3. I'm Nicole Versansky, and it is a shocking video. You see it here behind me. 19 News first showed you yesterday. So the woman caught on camera sprinkling her hair onto the food at Chill Peppers Fresh Mexican Grill over on East 185th Street. Now at 3, she's telling her side of the story, saying she's justified. Winnie George just spoke to her in a story you'll see on Just One Station.
I was wrong for that, but it was provoked. I don't want to look like I'm just some mean person or an irate customer, because that's not it.
Take a look at your screen. That's Talisha Jacobs putting her hair all over the food at Chili Peppers Fresh Mexican Grill. 19 News first shared it on Tuesday. After seeing our story, Jacobs called me wanting to explain what happened. She admits to being angry after not getting what she was willing to pay for.
I said, can I get extra meat in my tacos? I said, I'll pay for the extra scoop, which was $2.50, and she could separate it between my 4 tacos. The manager then stepped in and told me I could not get extra meat or I would not be getting all of my toppings. I said, I never heard of that. She said, well, you can't get extra meat.
This is where things get crazy. The restaurant's managers claim Jacobs became aggressive because she didn't want to wait until the taco meat was fully cooked. According to Jacobs, that's far from the truth. She says the manager told her to get out. In response,
I said, no, I cannot.
Jacobs claims finally one of the employees did make her tacos with extra meat, but at that point, the manager didn't want to do business with her anymore.
She said, throw that away. I said, okay, well, if I'm not eating, nobody's eating. So I proceeded to take strands of my hair and sprinkle it on the food.
Do you think you deserve any type of punishment for this?
Honestly, I was willing to pay for whatever the condiments that I did mess up, but it's like I said, it's not $1,000 worth of food like they said.
Jacobs says she was a regular customer at the Mexican Grill, but now she will never step foot inside there again.
Never. And I wouldn't recommend anybody to go there, because if the employees are allowed to disrespect the customers like that vibe alone you wouldn't want to eat there.
Now police are involved. Jacobs says she spoke to a detective, and as of right now, she's not facing any charges. In Cleveland, I'm Winnie Dorch, 19 News.
And 19 News, we did reach out to police to ask the status of this bizarre case. They tell us it is currently under investigation.
Yeah,
Tracking, but
I mean, that is a man. So yeah, you saw what happened, right, in that situation. I mean, she simply could have just left, right? I mean, if she didn't want to wait for the extra meat, for the tacos or whatever, or if the service was bad, I mean, why not just leave? I mean, you hadn't. To me, it looks like she hadn't paid for her food yet. So, I mean, it's just that easy. You know what I'm saying? Just go ahead and leave. But what you don't do, you don't stand there and contaminate the food that other people got to eat. She put hair in the food. after she was denied service. And that's something else you got to understand is when you go out to these places, you got to understand that the establishment and the people that work at that establishment or the people that run the establishment, they have a right to refuse service. Just like, you know, you have a right to spend or not spend your money in these places, right? And I mean, if there was an issue with the service, why not, you know, I don't know, maybe take it up, you know, with management or take it up higher than management, you know, if that's an option. You know, I mean, this place, I mean, it looks like a local establishment there in Cleveland. So I don't know if that's, you know, if that option was possible. But even if they did have something like that, you know, whether she had a valid argument or not, all of that goes out the window because of what she did. You know, she chose to sprinkle her hair into the food. You know what I mean? So, and then she had the nerve to call the news reporter after they aired the story. I think it was a day later, because she was caught on camera doing something wrong because she knew it was wrong. You know what I mean? And that's why I think she called the news to somehow maybe try to explain or make an excuse, you know, for what she did. You know what I mean? I mean, what she did in that restaurant, I mean, it was foolish to begin with. And then to make things worse, she goes on TV to make an even bigger fool out of herself. So, you know, and then she talked about how, you know, she would pay for the items, but the items weren't worth $1,000, right? Now, I'm no business expert, and maybe those items, I don't know, maybe they weren't worth $1,000. I mean, I don't know, but you have to look at the cost that it takes to replace those items. You know, that restaurant may have set aside a certain amount of food for each day that they're open for business, and they look at the amount of customers that they typically get, you know, for any given day. And I mean, of course, they're going to have some losses, which I think they kind of take that into account. But what they didn't account for, I think, was this food coming in there and contaminating the food and having to throw all that food away. I mean, that's like throwing money in the trash, because they couldn't continue to serve it to the public unless they wanted to risk somebody getting sick or getting shut down for it. You know what I mean? And then the police, they still investigating. So I don't know what is there to investigate? You know, I don't know if there are going to be any charges brought against this woman. She wasn't arrested. So to me, it would seem as if she's not going to be held accountable for what she did. And if the police are not going to do anything about it, then I don't know, maybe the business can maybe file a lawsuit against her for damages. You know what I mean? But she needs to feel the consequences of her actions, because if not, then to me, all that does is just send a message that this is okay to do, which is clearly not. And because, I mean, there was a much better way to handle that situation. And look, man, I get it. Some employees at some of these places, they can be rude sometimes. But like I said, there are other ways to handle that, and there are other ways to go about it. You know, you don't do what she did. And before you say, well, you know, we all make mistakes. I agree that we do, but I think the most important thing to remember in that, you know, these types of situations is to keep your emotions and egos in check. You know what I mean? You want extra meat in your tacos that bad? Then I don't know, maybe cook at home or something. That way you can have all the extra meat that you want. You know what I mean? But stop acting like a damn fool and stop acting like a damn child because you can't get your way. You know, she's lucky because depending on, you know, who you dealing with at some of these places. I mean, some of these employees, they don't give a damn about losing a job or going to jail, man. And they'll get with your ass real quick. Not saying that it's right, but I'm just speaking from some of the craziness that I've seen go down at a lot of these places. But anyway, I mean, that's been it, man. I just wanted to put this out there because I think some people need to adjust their attitudes before they find themselves in a situation that they can't escape from. You know what I mean? So, yeah, stop doing that dumb shit and, you know, take care, stay safe. Peace, y'all.